Hello and welcome to this week's Food for Thought. Mark Lockridge here, the pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny and Milford Reformed Presbyterian Church. It's good to have you with us. I was talking to a lady the other day and she said, "Well, I just believe that everyone should do their best." That seems fair enough. What more can you do? But I responded, I wonder if our best is good enough for God. After all, nobody's perfect. And I loved her reply. She said, now, there's the snag." That's a great response. And a moment's thought shows that she's right. How could a perfect God accept anything less than perfection? We all know that no one is perfect. How many times do we hear that being offered as an excuse? So, a flawed human being can never satisfy the requirements of a perfect God. What if God had actually said as much? And he has in the Bible in Romans 3 verse 20. He says, no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by doing what the law commands. Rather, through the law, we become conscious of our sin. See, there's the snag. God says it's not possible. A while ago, I had some religious callers at my door offering their brand of religion, and during the conversation I asked them, "Why do you think God will accept you?" One of them responded, "We believe that you have to do your best to keep God's laws, and if you're good enough, He will accept you." Well, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, there's a snag. So I asked them, "Can anyone keep God's law perfectly?" They responded, "Of course not. You just have to do your best." So I said, "Are you just hoping that you'll have done enough?" "Yes," they replied. "Well," I said, "it seems rather uncertain. I'd like to have something a bit more definite than that. After all, you're going to hang all your hopes of eternity on it. It seems to me like you're hoping a perfect God will drop his standards for you." Then I said, "Can I ask you why Jesus came?" They responded, "To show that it was possible to keep God's law perfectly." This slightly puzzled me. So I said, "So then, he would be the only one acceptable to God?" "No," they replied, "God will accept us if we do our best." Now I was really puzzled, so I said, "So what was the point of Jesus coming then?" "That only serves to show our failure, and means that God has to compromise his standards." As the First Lady so rightly pointed out, there's the snag. It won't cut it with God to say that nobody's perfect. It won't cut it with God to say we've done our best. The only thing that will satisfy a perfect God is perfection. So what's the solution? You see, the key to the whole problem is found in Jesus. But he didn't come to show us how to keep the law. How depressing that would be. A bit like being put alongside an elite rock climber and expected to scale the rock face with the same agility, speed and ease. Well, that would be unkind and unfair. But God is neither unkind nor unfair. But he won't compromise his character either. The solution is that God steps in and says, "I'll keep the law for you. I'll also pay for all the times you broke my law. Will you trust me? Will you trust me to do that?" That's why Jesus came. And so in one step, the snag is removed. Perfection is asked for and provided, not by us, but by Jesus. Because of that, it is possible to have real hope that God will accept us. You see, if we ask Jesus to take our place and trust him to do that, will God be dissatisfied with Jesus? Of course not. Jesus was perfect. And if Jesus takes your place, God says he will count you as perfect because of Jesus. Now that's great news. And there's no snag. So any religious system that asks you to do your best is fundamentally flawed. And it's actually unkind. And it's lacking any real hope. God's solution isn't about you doing your best. It's about trusting and loving and following the one who did the best. so that you could be accepted. Thanks for listening, and if you would like to get in touch, drop me an email, mark@newlifefellowship.ie. Until next time here in Finn Valley FM, have a great week.